still at Hope Zoo, but today we're in for a roaring adventure. This week we'll be featuring the African lion and lioness here at the zoo, which may not appear scary to you, but is actually one of the world's fiercest predators. Hope Zoo's curator Joey Brown joins us again this week to tell us more.
Thanks for having me again.
No
So yes, this week we're going to talk about our male lion, Lucas, and our female, our lioness, Jasmine. So Lucas joined us in about 2013, and Jasmine came a year later in 2014. And they were both donated and came to a zoo in the Monterey Zoo in California. So lions are obviously originally from Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, but they're obviously now bred in captivity, and so ours were donated from another zoo. Lucas is now 13 years old, and Jasmine just turned 12 years old.
How old can they get?
So lions can typically live, well, in the wild, maybe around 15 years, but in captivity they live a bit longer. They can easily live 20, 25 years. Captivity, they obviously have a kind of better, more safer life. They have a veterinarian and amazing zookeepers taking care of them. The wild is a much rougher environment. There's other animals hunting them, competing them. If they get sick, they often die at an earlier age.
What's their diet like? What do they eat?
So they are, full carnivores. So they eat 100% meat. So in the wild, they're found on the grasslands and plains of sub-Saharan Africa. So they're hunting zebra, antelope, wildebeest, all those things that they can find kind of migrating in Africa. Lions actually sleep about 16 to 20 hours a day. They're kind of more nocturnal, like most cat species. So, during that hot part of the day, they're sleeping out. They find a shady spot, they're sleeping, and then come sunset, evening time, that's when they're more active. That's when the females may go out hunting, or early morning as well. We get people that come to the zoo all the time, and middle of the day, and it's hot Jamaica, and they're like, "Your lions are lazy, they're just sleeping." It's like, no, man, that's what they do. They're finding a cool spot in the shade. They're resting.
Is it expensive to maintain them here at the zoo?
These lions are eating, 10 pounds of meat a day. Per monthly, that's over $200,000 to $300,000 a month. And annually by year, that's over like $2 to $3 million of food a year that is spent on each lion. So between these two lions, we're usually probably spending nearly $6 million a year on food. Fortunately, they are healthy, but occasionally they require medications. We do keep them on monthly medication for parasites, like for heartworm and stuff like that, so they don't get those. So we do have those parasites here in Jamaica. All right, so here at the zoo, they actually eat, mainly a lot of beef and chicken, but then we also get them sometimes goats and horses. So they're very expensive upkeep.
How do you feed them?
The lions are actually trained to shift and from their exhibit to their holding rooms. And these rooms also feature a hurricane-proof structure. So in the case of a big hurricane coming our way, we can shift this into this room for safety, and they're safe during the storm and they're not going to escape or anything. But at the same time, we never go in with our lions. It's too risky. It's not, although we have a great relationship with them, it's just not worth it.
In terms of reproduction, how often do they reproduce and how many young can they carry?
Well, they usually carry about, one or two cubs. Once they're kind of sexually mature, they can have on a yearly basis. You know what a group of lions is called?
It's a pride.
It's a pride. That's right. It's a pride. A group of lions is called a pride. And typically there's, one male lion, sometimes a couple younger male lions, and a big group of female lions. And so actually, the female lions are the hunters and kind of the leaders of the group. The male is the more dominant one, but the females are the ones doing a lot of the work. They're hunting, those antelope, those zebra, they're providing food for the pride, and they kind of have their own hierarchy as well. And actually, all of the females in a pride are typically related by some sort, because as they reproduce and they have cubs, if they're female cubs, as they grow up, those female cubs stay part of that pride. Whereas the male cubs, once they're kind of mature and on their own, they'll leave that pride to go kind of find another group or try to kind of form their own kind of group of lions. Because there's usually only a couple males per pride. They do the breeding and reproducing, and they do some of the hunting as well, but it's mainly the females. But they also help protect, the females from, let's say, other lions as well that may try to come in and take the cubs or hurt the females.
How big can they get?
300 to 450 pounds. So Lucas, our male lion here at the zoo, is about 440 pounds. And our female Jasmine, although she looks even a bit bigger, she's probably right around 400 pounds as well.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Go Wild. Join us again next week to learn more about the animals here at the zoo. Until then, I'm Kelsey.
I'm Joey.
Go Wild. you.